how was like growing up in Italy?
America happened 4 years ago, so pretty recent if you think about my age, 27. Before that, it was mostly Italy and Germany, and then I had a little bit also in China. I lived a year in China.
Oh, you lived in China?
Yeah,
How was that in China?
China was interesting. I was 14, so I didn't really live the adult life there. I saw a lot about the Chinese culture. I saw a lot about the system there. It was Hong Kong, which is kind of like Switzerland in China. It's more protected. You don't
Is it
see
really
the
restricted?
So whenever I went to Beijing or Shanghai, it is definitely much more restricted. It is crazy the amount of controls they had, and this was 2008. So already at the time, you would feel that checks, controls, also simply navigating on the internet was different from what you normally experience in Europe.
Oh yeah, I've heard that. Like,
Yes,
they have like
very
everything kind of like controlled, censored. They always make sure.
Yes.
So you didn't have like much freedom what you said online.
If you think about, if you compare it, for example, to America, yes. Yeah. A completely different world.
It's like a whole different like scenario.
Yes. Well, Italy, growing up in Italy, let's put it this way, if I had to...
Like if you were to choose anywhere, like it would definitely be Italy where you want to stay.
If I had to raise a family, the first 14 years of my children, I would love for them to grow up in Italy. Reason being is the concept of family, friendships, also the education, especially education. It is much harder, like it's hardcore. You literally cry on the books, but
really?
It makes your life after that so much easier.
So you like grind early in the early years so that you can live good later on.
Yeah, so if you're used to a hardcore education, whenever you get into real life is easier. If you're getting much easier education, and that's what I saw, for example, with my brother who studied in America. Life is much harder when you get thrown into real life. Does it make sense?
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah, that was the whole thing. Well, also friendships, food, general culture, also the concept of enjoying life. I think in Italy it's much better taught, much better seen. People here live to work, in Italy we work to live. I think that both are extremes. If you can find a balance, it's good. And for example, being an Italian in America, I'm trying to get to that balance. I have both things in my mind and I'm trying to put them together.
You're trying to combine both of these kind of lifestyles, these ideals together to make something better.
Yeah, it's the beauty of experiencing the both.
Would you say you achieved a lot of success in the United States versus what you would have in Italy? Or
100%. What I did in the past 4 years, if I would have achieved them in Italy, it would have taken me at least 20. In terms of career, meritocracy, in Italy, if you don't know people, you're not going anywhere. The unemployment rate among people of our age is 30%. So 1 out of 3 people our age do not have a job, okay? Italy is a beautiful place to spend your vacation, retire. If you want to get started with jobs, if you want to open a business, you got to know people.
You still have your Italian citizenship?
Of course.
So like being successful here, if you want to start a business later on, you could definitely do something like that.
My goal is to have my business in America, but live as much as I can in Italy over the long term. Now,
like traveling back and forth, right?
Yeah, traveling back and forth. I like both. I don't like too much of one, I don't like too much of the other. If I had money, like it wasn't a problem, I would try to reinvest it back in Italy. Even if I could, if I had money that I would be okay with losing, I would reinvest it. If I would have to start from scratch, I would never do it in Italy though. That's how tricky Italy is. I love my country, don't get me wrong. I love it. I miss it sometimes. I miss the food, I miss everything.
Oh, I've heard the food is like to die for in Italy. It's nothing compared to what we have here.
But what this place gave to me, impossible to replicate. Impossible.
Do you miss it a lot? You miss Italy?
I used to much more in the beginning. My first year in America was tricky because it was a slap to my face. Culture-wise, everything is so different. I didn't know people.
And did you already speak like English coming through? They taught that in school?
Yeah. I went to a German school, so One thing that the German education
Very
system does very well is languages. So I speak 5 languages.
5 languages?
Yes.
What languages do you speak?
It's Spanish, French, Italian, English, and German. The
Wow.
French and the Spanish is getting better because I do construction. A lot of my team are Spanish, Hispanic, and
That's
everything.
really common here.
French, completely forgot it because I never use it. The only French person I constantly try to speak French to was a girlfriend a long time ago.
How are the French women?
Oh, let's not talk about that.
I always hear everything about like French women, you know. I've heard good things about like anyone in Europe. Honestly, the people, I feel like they live healthier lives. But is that just depending, or is that just like the outside looking in?
Life in Europe is nice on average. So how can I explain it? Because it's also about perspective and your goals. If your goal is to just get by and having a good life while getting by, Europe is the place to go. You got many things paid for, including your taxes. Food is definitely better, whether you go out or whether you cook it at home.
Is it like easier to go out into town, get a meal for like pretty good price?
Yeah,
versus
but also,
like cooking at home?
And it's also incentivized to go out. One thing, for example, that I miss about Europe is the fact that I could leave my house and walk to the city center, or walk. European cities don't have one city center, for example, like here
Like
in DC.
yeah.
They have multiple city centers. Every single zip code area in a city has its own city center, has its own city center reality. And we walk a lot. Here, I want to go to the grocery store, I have to take out the car.
I know, you do have to drive everywhere, and then that's like more money coming out of your pocket from gas.
It's not just the money, it's just the concept of, also the fact of just walking is healthier, okay?
I think you meet a lot more people, right?
You meet a lot more people.
Getting a little bit of exercise, good for the heart.
Meet a lot more people, I don't know. To me, it was much easier to meet new people in America than it is in Italy. However, it is much harder to keep a good friendship in America than it was in Italy.
Very true.
So in Italy, it's harder to meet, but once you meet, I'm not saying you're family, but there is something.
Pretty close to family.
You still communicate in the future. In America, the amount of times I meet people very quickly, let's meet, let's here and there, and then it's nice in the first couple of weeks, and then it goes down. But of course, we don't generalize. There's a lot of amazing people here too.
Oh, no doubt.
First year was hard.
I think everywhere you go in the world, you're gonna meet amazing people, and you're gonna meet really terrible people. It's just...
Well, I can also tell you that on average, you guys are big dreamers, and I love it. You're always pursuing something bigger. You're not just pursuing living, getting by. You're pursuing something bigger. Everybody's a dream here, and I love it. This is the only country that has the word dream after it. There's no Italian dream, there is no French dream, there is only the American dream. It's funny, like
it is kind of funny, yeah.
It is very basic, it might sound very basic, but it's true. Find me another place that has the word dream after it. Impossible. Nobody has it.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever heard that motto anywhere else.
We call it la bella vita italiana, but we don't call it the Italian dream. La bella vita is the beautiful Italian life, but we don't call it the Italian dream.
Enjoying the beauty of life versus
the
I want to get
simplicity.
this, achieve this thing.
Yeah, it's the simplicity. If you want a simple life, Europe is nice. If you want to pursue a dream, or at least give it a try, America.
Do you want a simple life?
I want both. I believe that because of who I am, what I went through, the way I want to help people too, I believe that just enjoying life would be a waste. I want to pursue a few ideas and projects that I had in mind, and I started this year. And then at one point, I'm fine with going back to a more simple thing. I see myself, I don't know, in 20 years in the middle of nowhere in Italy, working on a little winery, and I'll be fine with that.
Oh, that actually sounds like such a beautiful dream to have.
Yeah, I also enjoy the little things. There's people who want to go clubbing every weekend, they cannot wait for the weekend. For me, enjoying life is being in my little cafe, having...
So enjoying life for you is equivalent of being in the club for all these other people?
No, enjoying life for me is the simple things. A plate of pizza, okay? Or a nice little cappuccino in a bar with the sun in my face, and I'm happy, okay? But that's also perspective that comes with time. When you're little, you want to do it. Would
you say like your perspective on life has changed a lot over the past couple of years?
Yes, and mostly in America. Also, as an Italian, maturing or doing stuff is different than in America. In America, the average American becomes independent when they go to college. That's their first experience of being outside of family, outside of parents. So the whole going out, meeting people, doing stuff here happens around 21 because number one, there's the legal part.
Is that same legal age in Italy?
It is a gray area. Let's say there is a gray area. Fact is, I will say this. I worked as a PR person and I managed clubs at the age of 14.
14.
Okay,
Wow.
14.
That's impressive.
Some people were playing still Legos at 14. I still was playing Legos, but I was working also in the clubs. And that's normal down there. You go out and you normally go out alone. Your family leaves you going out and stuff at that age, also younger. Rome, Milan, even 12 years. It's crazy. So that whole going out, meeting people, starting to date, it starts at a very young age. Especially because when you're
I think
little.
that's good. It feels like you mature a little bit quicker, and so that by the time you're an adult, you're already ready for the things you want to tackle in life.
It's not that you're ready, but all that excitement that you're pursuing, for example, in America during the college years, you already went through it. So it doesn't make you waste as much time in more adult years. Does it make sense?
I think that's a good thing, for
That's a
sure.
good
It
thing.
sounds like a really good thing.
That's a good thing. That's a good thing.
Like, tell me a little bit about like the projects you do. You say you flip homes?
I do, it's many things that I do in real estate. So I do two things to then pursue my third one. Two things is, one is I do rentals. So I buy distressed homes, I fix them up and I rent them out. And the second one is flipping. I do the flipping that nobody wants to do. I buy these homes that are in a distressed situation, close to falling apart or not livable, and I bring them back to a livable state. And it's mostly for entry-level buyers. Another thing that this enables me to do is to buy, because I buy them cheap and I restore them, I still restore them pretty well, it enables me to sell the house at under market prices. Or also with rentals, it enables me to rent out at under market prices. So my target is with rentals, renting at 30%, 20% discount compared to the market rent to young professionals. That's my target, young professionals, getting started in life. And with selling, same thing, trying to sell to entry-level families that never bought a home before at cheaper prices.
I think that's a really honorable thing to do because there's a lot of people that struggle like getting a house, especially in like these economic times.
Yes, in general, it's hard to get a house. I may as well help out a little bit. Then all this I combine with the social media side. I'm trying to grow YouTube, but now it's mostly TikTok that I'm using to grow an audience, to then push out the message and an idea. My idea is creating a non-profit for rentals. So being able to rent at cost, not at profit. So with no profit, which for example,
That sounds like a charitable cause.
it is a pretty cool cause. If you can do it at a large scale, it could literally destroy investors from any standpoint and help out.
Really?
Yes, it's funny. It's a crazy project, but legally it's doable. It just takes a lot of effort, and I know already there will be a lot of issues with investors. So yeah, that would be the longer term goal, helping out housing. I think that housing, real estate is one of my main focal point in life.
I'll say that's like one of the best ways to build wealth from like real estate because you're dealing with really big numbers like all the time.
It depends. Again, I love it because everybody talks about crypto and stocks, which I agree, they're amazing ways to do stuff. However, they're all based on how people feel. If people are depressed, they're gonna sell. Real estate, on the other hand, is something that number one is necessary. Everybody needs housing. Everybody needs a house. Everybody needs a roof. And number two, unlike stocks, when you buy a stock, the only thing you can do is wait or project if something will happen. When you buy a house in bad condition, you can add value with your own work. We call it owner equity, sweat equity. So you can have some impact over the value of it. Stocks, you just buy it or sell it. That's it.
With stocks, it's very simple. Like I think that's one of the most simple investments you can do because you're just literally putting aside money and just forgetting about it. Unless you're like really into like stockbroking, but for the most part, you can just let it sit and grow over time.
Yes, it's not a bad investment. It's just It's just a thing, as you said, you buy and you forget about it.
Yeah.
Real estate is more active. You got to put some work. People call it passive income. Guys, it's not passive. You got to put in a lot of work.
Very much not passive.
It becomes passive with time, but it requires a lot of work.
Because I see you like on like Instagram or TikTok, like almost, it seems like every day you're just always having to deal with either as like carpentry, getting the houses ready, like there's so much that goes into it.
Yeah, but even if you have people doing it for you, you still have to manage it. So it takes some time.
And I can just imagine, like once you get up to a high level, it's just going to be more and more stress, a little bit less like physical work, but more mental exhaustion from just doing all this.
Yes and no. It also builds some resilience.
Some character.
So the more you go on, the less stressed you're about stuff, or the more resilient towards stress you are. It's fun. It's interesting what happens. I have 170 something thousand subscribers on TikTok, and I average around 3 million views a month. How much do you believe that TikTok pays me just with the creator fund, without me doing sponsorship?
I would say it's not like too much, but it's like, I'm not even sure if it's livable. How much would it be? Like probably like 1,000, 2,000? 6
Starbucks coffee a month, guys.
6.
Okay, so if you are thinking about becoming an influencer, first of all, don't rely on the funds of these companies. So if you want to monetize being an influencer, you gotta really figure outside of the box ways to monetize. Don't rely on the creator funds and stuff. I, for example, use my TikTok to grow my real estate business. Investors see me, it's like, Amedeo, I would like to work with you, here's some money, let's buy homes. That's the way I use TikTok. If you want to be a pure influencer based on just what TikTok pays you, forget about it. Forget about it. Maybe Bella Porch makes money off of that enough to survive.
Like making silly faces on
That's another thing. 0.3% of influencers actually can live off of what they make. Okay?
That's insane.
Just from the creator funds. If they do not monetize on anything else. If they monetize, if they have a brand that they advertise for and stuff, then yes.
I think eventually they get to the point where they become the brand.
Yes.
And then they can use that to market out to... And I've seen before, like some of these big creators, like when they break down how much they make, like the amount they make just from like advertisements being run on their content is very little compared to affiliate marketing.
Exactly.
And then businesses contacting them for promotion or sponsorship.
Exactly. So, and the only, let's say, media that allows you to quickly become self-sufficient just on the fund is YouTube. That is the only one, because they give you 50% of their ad revenue. But for the rest, nope, forget about it.
So would you say like YouTube would, if someone was looking to like actually make a livable wage off this, YouTube. Focus on YouTube, that would be the best thing? Can you tell me a little bit about like your 5-year plan from here on out? You said you want to try and make this vineyard a reality in Italy, you know?
No, that's like 20-year plan. 5-year plan is, so this year I went all in with the flipping for the first time. I tried that as a part-time thing. This year I left, 2022 I left my past job and I went full-time with flipping homes. So next 5 years is to, let's say, make my flipping business more passive so that I can focus my attention on other things. One of which is growing my YouTube channel and growing my social media in general towards the non-profit project. Where will I be in 5 years? I believe that in 5 years I will have a multi-million-dollar grossing business.
Multi-million-dollar. I think you can achieve
5 years I can achieve that. It's a very big, it's a very big goal with the real estate, and I will be already close to opening the non-profit. My question is where my social media will be, and I don't know about that. I will still be probably in America, and I hope that I will have at least a team of 100 people around me. I like to do is try to surround me with people that I can bring up with me. The typical image of the entrepreneur is the entrepreneur that takes all the money and leaves nothing to the rest. I want the people that work with me to stick with me and grow with me, which means looking for good people, which has been a good reality check this year. It's hard to find really good, trustworthy people.
True. I think that's a really good goal, not only just because it's the right thing to do, but also it's good for business, because if you, let's say you're at the top of a business, and you have all the knowledge, you have all the power, you have all the money, and you're only trickling it down to everyone else because you want them to be like below your level of knowledge, that business is never going to grow.
One of the toughest things to learn when you do business, so in the beginning you want to do everything. In the beginning you want to learn everything, you want to do everything, and that's what I did, for example, with my first flip. And then you realize, okay, this is fun, but if I want to grow this, I need people. And you need to put trust in people, you need to vet people, you need to teach people. And the hardest thing is you need to have a vision for people. So I told you, my example is real estate. Yes, I do flipping, but it's not just simple flipping. It has a final goal, entry-level buyers. I do renting, but it has a goal, helping out people pay less. We still have to survive out of it, but we can help people more than the average investor. Okay, does it make sense? So you're not just doing real estate, you're actually helping the housing market. You're going against the entire housing market. You're doing the opposite of what a normal investor is doing. So it's like a middle finger. It's a middle finger towards investors, is my version of it. Yeah, people are hard, man. People are hard. I'm learning a lot about it. It's hard to put trust in people. It's hard to find good people. It's hard to find one thing that and I believe this is our generation, I'll be very honest.
Because of the way social media has like affected people, it's harder to trust them?
Not trust, it's hard to keep a person for a long time because the concept of the grass is always greener somewhere else is being pushed even more nowadays. Does it make sense?
Yeah.
And you were talking about people are in the present. Oh, today I feel bad. Let me switch it off. Which makes sense. You should do it especially when you're young. Switch out, find stuff that you test stuff out, but after a while, I don't know, you should figure out what you like and double down on it at least for 5 years.
So you'd say like it's better to pick one thing, put all your effort, all your focus into that thing, not immediately, but like over time.
When you're 21, in your 20s, so your 20s should be used to try stuff out, try jobs, switch, job hop as they say. Figure out what you like, okay, then find a good person that does what you like, that is in a higher position than you, and learn from them. When I did real estate, I had my realtor that was literally my mentor, which showed me houses, showed me numbers, showed me stuff. It's like, wow, this is amazing. As part-time, I learned from him, I bought houses through him, and then slowly went full-time into real estate myself. It's a process, and it's a struggle because I had my 9 to 5, and then I was doing this.
But it paid off in the end.
Yeah, not yet. It's getting there. It's definitely growing.
But do you think the process of like going through that has?
It's fun.
You think? I think that's what the most exciting part about it is, right?
The person who loves to walk will walk further than the person who loves the destination. Okay, does it make sense?
I love that quote.
You gotta focus on the whole journey of it. If you're constantly thinking about, okay, you should think about the future, meaning you should have a plan. It makes total sense.
Yeah.
But you should also enjoy how you're getting there. It's fun. It's fun. One thing that really helped me, and this is the Italian mentality, which unfortunately is not taught in America. Italians are very frugal. I use my 20s to still have fun, not extravagantly. I still enjoy life, not extravagantly. I understood how much I need to be satisfied and have an okay life and stick with that. I still stick with that. I started 4 years ago, that is still my lifestyle. All the rest, reinvest in your business or in learning stuff or whatever. Have your experiences. I understand traveling and stuff, and I was very lucky because I traveled by living in different places. I didn't really travel for vacation. I lived in Hong Kong. I lived in Germany. I lived. So I did. So when I was 21, I was like, okay, I traveled, lived in places. Let me just stick with one thing. Let me just be frugal. Let me try to grow something, and let's have fun later on in life a little bit more. I still go to events, I still go to stuff, but don't do it every weekend. Use the weekend to grow your mind, use the weekend to grow your business, your side gig, or to figure out stuff.
I feel like so many people just waste their weekend doing things that aren't like contributing to either their success or growth as a person.
But because it's very hard not to. Again, you were talking about social media. If you open social media and see people drinking every day, all your friends, you ask you, and I do ask myself the question all the time when I see people
doing that?
Why am I not? Am I doing something wrong? Why am I different? It's like, and then you realize, no, you have a plan, stick with it. It's a big fight. And especially when you're younger, it's much easier to fall prey of that and going with that.
It's a lot of distractions.
I am against it, but I also understand it. Like there is no fault. It's a very hard urge to fight.
It's almost like a sickness in some ways.
No, it is normal. It's humanity. That's the way we are. It is a lonely path sometimes. I have to say, it is a lonely path.
I think the path of an entrepreneur, no matter what, like you're gonna face times where you have to give up like a lot of this fun, entertainment, or even friends on like your path.
I didn't give up friends. The good thing is my friends are all in Italy, so the only way for me to communicate with them is call them. I cannot really see them.
That means they were good friends because they supported you along the way.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think that's what everyone should hope to achieve.
And keep a few friends, not a lot. I have literally 5. I meet a lot of people every day, but my close friends, 5. I've always been 5, that's it. Maybe there will be more.
So, you have any closing remarks?
Fuck, that's hard. Sorry for the French. Don't overthink and don't try to get into perfection. Just get started, okay? That is the biggest advice I can give. I lost 2 years thinking before doing what I chose to do in 2022. I could have started 2 years earlier, okay? And after I learned that, and I just do now. Don't think too much. You learn by doing. Don't waste time.
That's great, yeah.
Analysis paralysis. Don't do that. Very bad.
Do you have like an Italian word you say for like goodbye or something like that?
I will give you a beautiful word that is not only Italian, it is Roman. It is a Roman saying. It is a cuss word, I apologize for that. But it is, when everything is bad, somebody tells you something bad, don't get worried. Use the philosophy of what we call sti cazzi.
Sti cazzi.
Which means, who cares? Go on. Sti cazzi. It's beautiful. Oh, I just crashed the car. Sti cazzi.
Or am I saying that? Sti cazzi.
Sti cazzi.
Sti cazzi. Sti cazzi. All right, thank you so much.